2 years ago, I lost a friendship, and that friendship meant a great deal to me. And for a long time, I did not talk about it. And it is not because that friendship was not real, but because I feel like there is a special kind of grief that comes with losing a friendship. And nobody quite prepares you for that. When someone dies, people gather, they send flowers, they check in. But when a friendship ends, a lot of time you grieve it alone in the spaces between things. So today I want to talk about that grief and what it taught me about myself and about life. So I want to tell you about this friendship without telling you everything about it, because of course some things are private. But what I can tell you is that this was a friendship that felt like home. It was the kind of friendship where you do not have to explain yourself, where the history you share, it becomes its own language, where you can say the thing without saying the thing and still be understood. Those friendships are very rare. And when they end, the absence is not just the person, it is the home. I think about what it means to have a friendship like that as an immigrant woman, because so much of your life is spent navigating different spaces where you have to translate yourself, where you have to explain your context before you can even begin the conversation. And then you find someone who already knows the context, who does not need the translation. That person becomes precious in a way that is very hard to describe to someone who has not needed that kind of shorthand. And I'm not going to tell you exactly what happened, because that is not the point of this video. And some things deserve to stay between the people involved. What I will tell you though, is that it ended. And it was not even with a dramatic confrontation, not with a single moment that I can point to, but in the quiet way that some friendships end, with a growing distance that neither person knows how to close. And then one day, the distance is just the distance. It felt like everything just evaporated, and then the friendship is over. Now, here's what I want to say about grieving a friendship. It is devastating in a way that people often underestimate, because the world does not give you permission to grieve a friendship the way that it gives you permission to grieve other losses. Nobody asks you how you are doing 3 months later after you lost a friend. Nobody understands why you still think about it. And nobody validates that this was actually a real loss that is worthy of real grief. So you tend to carry it quietly the way that you carry most things. And what makes it harder is that the person is still here. The person is not gone, just no longer your friend. And there is a specific pain in that distinction, because there is no finality to reach for, no moment of closure, just the ongoing reality of a life that used to include this person. And now it does not include the person. I grieved it. I gave myself permission to grieve it. And I think that was the most important thing that I did in regards to that friendship, because the alternative is to pretend that it did not matter. And it did. It did a lot. It mattered to me. Now, here's what losing that friendship taught me. The first thing is that not every friendship is built to last a lifetime, and that does not mean that it failed. And we have been taught that the measure of a friendship is its length. And the older the friendship, the more valuable it becomes. And when a friendship ends, we treat it as a failure, like something went wrong, that we should have been able to prevent that, or that maybe that friendship was not built on something substantial. But what I understand now is that some friendships are complete and not necessarily broken. So they served their purpose. They held you through a particular season in your life. They gave you what the season required. And when the season changed, the friendship completed. That is not failure. That is the natural arc of some relationships. And the second thing it taught me is how I responded to the loss. It told me a great deal about myself, because I noticed how quickly I turned inward and how automatically I asked myself, what did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? How easily I took on the full weight of something that had two people in it. And I had to learn to hold it more evenly, not to assign blame, but to stop assigning all of it to myself. The third thing, I learned what kind of friend I want to be going forward, because losing someone important to you has a way of clarifying what actually matters in a friendship. The presence, the honesty, the willingness to say the hard thing because you care more about the person than about being comfortable. I know more clearly now what I want to offer and what I want in return. I am also more intentional about the friendships that I invest in, and not because I am protecting myself from being hurt again, because you can't. It's unrealistic to expect that. But because I understand now that real friendship, it requires real investment, and that is from both sides. The fourth thing that I learned, and it is the most important one, I learned that I could survive something I thought that would break me, because at the time, it really felt like that. This particular loss was one too many. I didn't need to add one more thing to my list of failure. Like I did not have the capacity to absorb it and to keep going at the same time. Then I did. I kept going. Not because it stopped hurting, but because I am someone who keeps going. That is just who I am. And losing that friendship, it reminded me of it. So here's what I want to say to anyone who is grieving a friendship right now. Give yourself permission to feel it fully. You don't need to perform. You don't need to pretend. And you don't need to explain it to anyone who does not understand. Just feel it. Because that friendship was real to you, and it was also real to the other person. And real things, they deserve real grief. And when the grief starts to lift, ask yourself, what is it teaching you? Not as a way to rush through it, but as a way to honor that something meaningful happened. And meaningful things, they always leave something behind. The friendship that I lost, it was real while it lasted. It mattered while it lasted. And what it left behind is a clearer sense of who I am, and also what I value and what I am capable of surviving. And that is mine to keep. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Webley, and I want you to drop a comment below and tell me, Have you ever lost a friendship that felt like losing a piece of home? And I want to hear from you. Remember to hit subscribe because I will see you in the next video.